Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Results Podcast. Today, we have a special guest. His name is Lucas Petty, and he's known as the AI Daddy. Why is he known as the AI Daddy? Well, he is a fractional AI officer for 10 to $100 million companies. He has 100,000 followers on TikTok talking about his methodology and how he saves companies millions of dollars using AI. Lucas Petty, how did you become the go-to fractional AI officer for 10 to $100 million companies?
I just kept driving results, and I kept translating the capabilities of AI into actual dollars and revenues for all these business owners. Let me give you a backstory though. It all started with me making a TikTok.
Interesting.
And if I were to go back, just to know a little bit more about me, I have over a decade of experience in operations consulting, even worked as a COO for a while. Operations is all I've known for the longest time. And I had a startup that I had invested all my money into and then realized it was obsolete. AI completely killed it off.
Okay.
And overnight, I decided I need to pivot. I let go of the team. I created a TikTok of all things because I thought, what's the fastest way to learn? It's not just by reading about it or studying. It is by doing, and then by showing those results, and by talking about it, by teaching. So I made a TikTok. After the first month, ended up with like 30,000 followers, and eventually blew up to have over 100,000 followers. Yeah. And all from just breaking down AI and making it simple for business owners so that I could bridge that gap of there's this new technology that's really exciting that everyone knows they need, that they're falling behind on, but how the hell do they implement it? How do they get results?
Yeah, because there's so many like tools out there, and it can be so complicated because people, they'll try out a tool and then and then there's also an element of like everyone in your team is, trying different tools, and it just all becomes kind of cluttered, right?
Yeah.
And so I love the way you do things and your methodologies because you make things simple. Does that make sense? And so that's what I love. And I want to get into that of your process and like, answer this for me. So what does a fractional AI officer actually do? So when someone hires you, a CEO hires you, and you come on as a fractional AI officer, what's the first step?
What a good fractional AI officer does is they come in, help you build out a strategic plan for AI, looks at your processes, looks at your people and their problems, their pain points, the bottlenecks in that process, and they make a plan that first tries to take work off of people's hands, and then brings in and helps them adopt the new technology.
I love it. And so where are CEOs losing the most money when it comes to like maybe past experiences you've had, or just in general that you've seen from other companies?
CEOs are losing so much money if they're not integrating AI, if they're not rolling it out into their teams or their processes.
Awesome. And what are like the common gaps that you see? I'm just curious about that because I've tried AI myself, to fill gaps in my company, whether that's like an AI assistant, using Otter AI, or, even for like the menial editing tasks, right? That just take a lot of time and really take no creativity.
Yeah.
Like those are like the gaps, is like the time.
Well, let me turn it back on you. Where are you wasting the most time? What's keeping you from doing the actual work that you're getting paid to do?
For me, I would say definitely like emails is a big one. like editing, like, you know, if we get overwhelmed, sometimes I'll have to step in to edit something because obviously I'm a smaller company. And also just like where I make the most money is doing things that generate revenue, like creating content, you know, coming out with like podcasts, stuff like that. Go like hopping on sales calls. That's where like I need to be. And those like really like time taking tasks like emails and editing is really my common gaps.
Okay.
Why do you ask?
So you need to spend so you're saying that you need to spend most of your time in sales and marketing, but you're spending the majority of your time in administrative work, right?
Yeah,
like
that's probably a simpler way of putting it. That's what I should have just said. Yeah.
at the core of it.
Yeah.
And so that is every single one of your employees is the same problem. And when we look at what processes should be automated and which ones shouldn't, which ones we should like completely delegate to AI, what we find is it's usually in the bottlenecks and the pain points. And most of the time, those are in handoff points. And what I mean by that is when you are handing off the work from one team to another, one department to another, you know, you're going from filming to editing to like delivering, like you start to share the work from one person to another. Things slow down.
Yeah.
And they slow down because there's a lot of admin work that needs to go around that to be able to hand off the work to the next person to get things delivered as fast as possible.
Right.
Those are usually a great place to start. But I'm going to tell you, if you're asking how would I coach you or recommend you on implementing AI, I wouldn't even look at any of that right now. I wouldn't talk about tools and I wouldn't talk about processes. If I'm being real, because I need to know where are you trying to get to with the business?
Yeah.
So straight up tell me, where are you right now and where do you want to be at the end of the year?
We're doing well. We're doing videos for some big companies. At the end of the year, it's not so much like a revenue goal. It's more of like an impact goal. Okay. So I'm really trying to focus on how can I make an impact as a company? And I really want to figure that out by the end of the year. Because I believe that I do. You know, I believe that not only do I help people online make money through social media, but I also feel like the company as a whole. How do we make more of an impact in the clients we work with, right? Because like I really genuinely care, as you do, right, about my clients, but it's more of that mindset.
What does impact mean?
Impact means
to you.
To me, it's making people's lives easier, better, happier.
What I'm getting at is, what do you sell? You sell marketing services. The point of any marketing service is to make more money.
Correct.
And I would argue that any video, any piece of media that you create, that you deliver to a client has impact.
Yeah.
Because if all they have to do is post it, share it on their social media, or run it as an ad, and the impact is right there and it's immediate.
Yeah.
So you're already delivering more impact. And if you're telling me you want to deliver more impact, what you're really telling me is you want to have more clients and deliver more of that work. Or do you want to change the business model and do something completely different?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I want to have less clients, but bigger clients.
Okay.
Which I am working on. I'm having those conversations right now. But yeah.
What do you have to do to get those bigger clients?
I feel like it's just a mindset shift. I have to save time in other areas. I have to focus, not really focus on the administrative stuff, more of the big picture stuff in order to get those types of clients. Yeah.
See, so now we're coming full circle to what you actually meant by big impact is having big clients.
Yeah.
So that you can deliver, and this makes a lot of sense. You're going to deliver a higher quality work because you're going to have bigger budgets, but also because it's a bigger company, they're going to share your work to larger audiences. They're going to be able to push it out there, and you're going to naturally have that bigger impact.
Yeah.
So now that we know where you're trying to go, what the hell's keeping you from there? And you just said it's all the admin stuff. It is you actually having these smaller clients. If you tell me what the exact numbers of how many clients would you like to take on? What do you want? We can start then breaking down the real place we're trying to go to. And now we dive into, well, what's the administrative tasks that don't allow you to be doing the outreach, the sales and marketing that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
For these bigger clients.
Yeah.
And so we'd free up that time and we'd focus the AI tools and the AI roadmap, the AI automations that we'd recommend, that we'd bring in for you there, with the very clear next step of first freeing up your time because you say you don't have any. And then phase 2 would be rolling out AI into your marketing and your sales efforts, because you're jumping the gun trying to save time with the selling when you don't even have time to sell, and you think AI is going to be this magic pill. It is, but you have to point it. If I had a magic hammer that can fix anything or whatever, and I just put it against a wall, and what I want is my desk to be fixed, I'm fucking up. Yeah. Like I'm not using it in the right direction.
Right.
We need to get you the time back, or we need to get you the time back first, and then we can roll this out. Now, if you were a much bigger company and you had a massive team underneath doing the sales, we would 100% just go, well, your goal is the big clients. We're going to roll out AI to completely all the clients that you have that are big clients, that are that ICP, that ideal customer profile. We could integrate AI and have custom AIs that are literally trained off of every conversation, everything that you have with those ideal customers.
Yeah.
And then use all that data, all that content that you're sitting on to reframe the brand, the messaging, so that naturally your offer, the model is undeniably working to get you so that you only work with bigger clients.
I want to talk about you claim that you save companies 6 figures in the first 14 days of working with them, right?
Yep.
So you're talking about all this of saving time and being fractional AI officer, but that first step, before you become that fractional AI officer, in order for you to step in, you need to do this first process of saving them that immediate 6 figures. And why is that?
Baby steps.
Okay.
Everything in business is about relationships, trust, credibility.
Yeah.
I can say I'm the best. I know that We Deliver is the best. No one has put as much work as we have into refining the way we strategize and uncover AI opportunities, the way we build and implement AI solutions for companies. But it doesn't matter that I say any of that, and you don't have to believe me. All I care about is that you give me the chance to have my results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
You just believe the results that I give. And so before I come on as a fractional AI officer, before I bring in my fractional AI team to roll out these implementations, I just say, let's find one problem worth solving, and we'll discuss it until we get clear on what that one project is.
Yeah.
That we're confident that we can roll out in 2 weeks. and that is undeniably going to save you like 6 figures.
Right.
And so here's a perfect example. The CEO of a recruiting company, one of the most recent projects we did, reached out, said that he spends on average about 4 hours anytime that he, 4 hours a week, anytime that he builds out these basically assessments and all the job descriptions that he does for clients. Mm-hmm. We calculated how much money he's making. Not just the business, but how much he's paying himself. He does all this stuff. His hourly comes out to like $250, $300 an hour.
Really?
I mean, the guy makes like $400,000, $500,000 a year. Is what he pays himself. That's not even what the company makes. But he's spending 4 hours a week drafting up these assessments for potential hires and all these things. He already had the framework and the process built out. We took that process down to less than 10, 15 minutes. If it takes him 15 minutes, it's just because he's editing and kind of being a perfectionist, adding his little tweaks. But all those assessments are now completely automated. And it took us 2 weeks to literally look at his processes, take all that, throw it into some AIs, build the automations around it so that anytime a customer during the onboarding phase gives the information of who they're looking to hire, all that just goes into an AI and a database, and it has AI do deep research, and it'll analyze that client's website, their brand, all the things that he normally did during those 4 hours. And then it'll take the brand voice that client wants, that's important to them, and have the job descriptions and all that just like tailored specifically for the client.
So when you implement all these things into a company, right? Like, I always wonder, like, what are the ethical kickbacks that you get, right? Because I'm sure, like, I know what you do. I've known you for a while. I know what you do saves companies tons of money, right? My question to you is, like, what do you say to those people who may not like fully agree with AI, or maybe are like still a little bit hesitant, or maybe who have employees who are hesitant? You know what I mean? Like, what do you say to those people?
We're headed towards a depression, an economic recession. We are living in a time that massive layoffs are the norm. And we're living in a time where AI is capable of automating 30 to 50% of our work.
Okay.
You have to look at the big picture to recognize every one of your employees is terrified of getting replaced, is thinking that AI is going to take their jobs, that it's a Terminator and it's going to take over the world. And so there's not been a single company that I've gone into where at least someone says, we don't want to use it, we don't trust it, we don't want AI.
Yeah.
But you can't have that, right? As a business owner, you're going to be obsolete in 2-3 years. I mean, you kind of already are if you're not integrating AI, and all your competitors are using it. They are taking massive amounts of market share because they are operating so much more efficiently.
Yeah.
So everyone's so focused on the tools. As a fractional AI officer, I can tell you that the most important piece of all this is the change management that no one really thinks about. And this is, everyone thinks of it as just, oh yeah, I need to roll out some AI tools and I need to train them. No, you need to address that very real fear based off of the norm is layoffs.
Yeah.
You need to protect your customers. You need to make them feel safe as you bring them on. And the way you do it isn't you say, roll out AI, otherwise you're fired. Right? You're destroying your company culture if you have that kind of approach.
Right.
However, if I went in and I asked you, Levi, what are your problems? Where are you struggling? What's the worst part about your job? And I have that big goal that, the business owner is after. We're trying to move to getting bigger clients. We're trying to improve our sales and our marketing. We're trying to automate 30-50% of the company. And so I know that big goal, that North Star, and I listen to the employees, the people who are going to get affected and feel the most at risk. And I go, what are your problems? And all the problems that are actually keeping us from that goal, I solve them with AI. It's night and day. They will be so grateful that you rolled out AI, right? That you automated the admin stuff, the things that were a headache for them. But you have to be really good at communicating that you're rolling this out to support them in their role, that as you're transforming their jobs, you're freeing up their time. Do you stop paying them as much? Do you cut back their hours? Do you...
Right.
What do you do? You don't fire them and you don't cut out their hours and you don't just tell them to sit around and do nothing. You recognize that they are the experts in your process, in your business. They know all the bottlenecks, all the issues. We've freed up their time by integrating AI. Let's use them to think about, well, if you had a $10 million business, you think about, you focus your employees to be thinking about how do we build a $15, a $20 million business, and to build out and design the processes. You also free up their time. They'll be learning new AI tools so that they can work even more efficiently, even faster, because this is the norm. These are the normal outputs. Cutting the employees, you're choosing to play small games just to increase your margins momentarily. You're still going to be stuck because the smart people in your industry are keeping their employees and they're just making sure they become masters of AI, and they are growing exponentially faster than you.
Right. And so that's a big fear that people have, right? Say you have a marketing director just in a random company, and you come in as a fractional AI officer, tell them this big goal that you're telling them about. You're saying, hey, we're trying to achieve this big goal. We're trying to, let's say just for this case, you say to this marketing director, we're trying to automate social media. All of a sudden they're like, whoa, right? That's my whole job is to do social media, is to, monitor that. And so now you come in, and so what you're saying is you say, we're going to use tools like, I don't know, Zapier or Publer or whatever these automation tools are, and tell and train them on these tools. So you're basically making them the overseer or the monitor of these tools, but also giving that capacity to think bigger and say, hey, your role isn't like a marketing director anymore. It's more of like a strategist, because now that you have this administrative or busy work freed up, now you're saying now you have this capacity to think bigger, right?
Yeah.
And so is that like a change that you're seeing in companies now who are using AI more? Is their employees aren't really busy work employees, they're more of creative thinkers? Do you feel that?
I went into a marketing department, I don't know, 2-3 months back. And the director of that department came to me and said, we hired a 21-year-old intern that in a single afternoon outproduced our entire marketing department.
Wow. Just
using ChatGPT and Midjourney. And he questioned his whole life, right? His whole career, everything that he'd been he just felt so obsolete and threatened by this new technology. And I talked to him and I coached him through it, and I made him realize, no, it's because he's got the 10, 20 years of experience, because he has learned all the different tools, because he knows all these best practices, the frameworks, what is great marketing, what's a great ad, all these different things. The 21-year-old intern could just produce work really, really fast. But that director had the experience and the knowledge to make really smart strategic decisions. And I talked to him, I said, if you could leverage the same tools and have the same output as that intern, your stuff would be 100 times better.
Right.
There would be no competing if anyone on your team rolled out the same tools. You're just thinking from a fear-based place of getting replaced, of being obsolete. And it's natural because our egos get in the way, right? We've all been in this rat race. It's exhausting, always learning new tools. It is exhausting keeping up with the latest trends, and every industry is just non-stop. If you really want to be at the best of the game, it's non-stop.
Right.
And that's why I talk about this importance of how do we keep up with the rapid pace of AI?
Yeah.
We can't, but we can get insanely close to it if what we do is we leverage AI to automate first, to delegate everything that AI can fully do. First, we delegate it. What you can't fully delegate to AI, you now are augmented, aka you use ChatGPT, you use Midjourney, you use AI tools to co-create, to co-design, to co-strategize, to think through problems and things. And then you also identify what are things that only humans can do, right? Building relationships, caring, giving a fuck. There are parts of strategy and creativity, but more than anything, the relationship piece that is undeniably only human.
Yeah.
And you need to double down on there. But if you double down on the human component, you can't do it if you're too busy doing the work. Right. So that's why we delegate first. That's why then we teach you how to leverage just a small core set of tools even better, so that then the way you show up for people and your communication and your relationships, it is better than anyone else in the game. And that's how you really win in this era of AI.
Yeah. So what do you, we talked a lot about like this era of AI, right? But I want to know like what the next big thing is. Like how do you see companies in 5 years? Do you think it's going to be like a drastic difference? Like, do you think there's just going to be a bunch of like I hear all the time, there's just going to be a bunch of like one employee companies that are just all like automated by AI, or 2 employee companies, right? Who are making like huge impact. Like, do you think that's going to be the future of AI, or do you think it's going to still stay the same? Like, especially through this recession, right? I mean, I'm sure like all these companies are going to be looking for so many ways, if a recession does come, to just fully automate their business, just fully automate it as these tools get better, as they become smarter. Like, yeah, just your thoughts on that, because there's so many gurus out there who are saying this stuff. So I'm just curious.
100% automation is a fantasy.
Yeah.
That's perfection, right? 70-80% absolutely will get there within the next 3 to 5 years. But not that it's at the click of a button. I think everyone misunderstands that piece of AI. They see ChatGPT and they see how they can just say, write me an article, write me an email, do a thing. And it's instant, and they assume rolling out AI and the rest of the business, everything should be instant in the sense of implementing it. No, it's going to take work. It's going to take a lot of connecting AI to your existing tech stack, a lot of infrastructure building and redesigning that's happening right now with the big players.
Yeah. That's interesting you say
to get
that.
there.
Yeah, because most people think it's just that one quick fix, right?
Yeah. It's not, and I think that's why everyone thinks AI is just hype. They're being sold AI as this instant solution to everything. I mean, you know, everyone's rebranding their companies to AI, AI paint builder, you know, painting services,
Painting services .ai.
AI therapist, AI everything.
Oh, yeah. AI therapist.
But
yeah.
right now in Fortune 500 companies, you have AI departments, just how you have IT departments, but you have and HR departments, you have AI departments that are the equivalent of the HR, but for AI agents and AI automations. That's what we come in as a fractional AI officer. I'll roll out a fractional AI team that basically I'll bring in the people who will build out AI agents, AI automations, so that, 10, 20, 30, as time passes, we automate more and more of the business processes so that then me and my team are maintaining all those AI agents that are constantly being trained on every new client, every new work that is delivered. That's the thing about AI that people don't realize. It is generative AI. It means it is learning from every iteration. If you've used ChatGPT, you notice it retains memory of what you last told it. If you told it about your company, if you told it about your personal problems, your marital problems, like it'll all of a sudden slap you back in the face with it, or it remembers.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to train it constantly like you train your employees. But again, you shouldn't think that in the future, just because I say 50, 70, 80% of a business can be automated, that means you get rid of all the people. When AI, the way historically business works is if an individual tries to compete with a team, the team always wins. And then AI was introduced, and an individual with AI could outcompete the team.
Really?
Yeah, no, I 100% see individuals that are running multi-million-dollar businesses by themselves, and they are beating other players in their same industry that they got 20, 30, 50, 100 people. And it's because of the overhead. It's because of the cost. But
that goes back to my original point, though, is like, do you think that that's just going to happen where there's just an individual outperforming all these Fortune 500 companies with just AI?
No, let me finish.
Okay.
That's an individual using AI.
Yeah.
But what if the team uses AI?
Yes.
You can't compete.
Yeah.
The same game happens. And so there's those 4 levels of, are you an individual without AI? Are you a business without AI? Well, guess what? An individual is beating you and can beat you.
Yeah.
And and they're 10xing what that team can do, right? Just how that director said that one individual using ChatGPT and Midjourney was outproducing all them, making way more ads, way more content, way more media than the entire team. The moment we worked with that team, and the moment that team started integrating it, well, now they are at 100x what that individual was doing. That was 10xing everything. And so the gap between the businesses, the teams that aren't using AI, and the teams that are using AI, it's night and day. And so the teams are outproducing that individual.
Yeah.
And a lot of small thinkers are rolling out AI and firing the team.
Right.
And doing it. And
so what happens if, that was what I was going to ask. It's like, what happens though if you do that?
You wreck the company culture. Because now everyone's just thinking, when am I going to get fired?
Yeah.
Because what they see in the media is layoffs. But what we don't realize is It is Fortune 500 companies who overhired, who were over bloated with all these roles. I don't know if you've seen like a couple of years back, you would see day in the life of people working at a FAANG company, and they would show how they literally didn't do work the whole day. They would go from meeting to yoga class to playing ping pong in the company office to going partying and networking. They didn't work. A lot of people had roles and they didn't do work. And so it makes sense that the big players are cutting out so many other workers as they're rolling in AI, and AI automates so much of their stuff. They're keeping the best performers.
So if you're an employee, how can you prevent from you being the one that gets like fired or laid off?
You start implementing AI. You roll out AI.
So you think the solution is actually, instead of being worried about being replaced by AI, you should be learning it then?
100%.
Okay.
Best framework I can give any employee right now is, after this, list out every task that you do in a day or throughout the week. Even better if it's throughout the week. And then that framework I said earlier, go through and write down like how much time each task takes you, list those out, and separate them into what adds value to the business and what's just busy work.
Yeah.
And you'll find out that like 80% of it is just busy work.
Right. Yeah.
Now, divide all those tasks again in both those two buckets into what AI can fully automate and you should be delegating to it immediately, what AI can now augment and you should be co-creating, doing with tools like ChatGPT and whatnot, and then what are things that only humans can do.
Yeah.
And then start off with the delegation and then move on to the co-creating. And what you're going to do is you're going to free up your time so that you can build better relationships with your boss, with the team, with clients. But if you're stuck in the rat race, how can you do it? And so tying it back to the teams that aren't Fortune 500 companies, the businesses that like every worker is an essential worker and they're all working nonstop and they don't have any time back. Let's first identify that those few handful of projects that AI can complete, those pain points, those bottlenecks that AI can completely take over. Let's roll those out, free up their time, and let's keep that team that are experts in the business, and let's get them scaling to the next level.
So the strategy is different than based off of the size of the company.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
If that team that's rolling out AI starts firing their people, not just will you destroy the company culture, you will also slow down the business. You might increase margins momentarily, but I guarantee you, your employee, and I've seen this time and time again, your employees will start to look for jobs and start applying to jobs during work hours.
Wow.
Productivity is going to slow down. The change management aspect of this is crucial. That's why you need to get someone to be an AI officer or an AI point person, a leader rolling out a lot of these initiatives who understands, who's seen time and time again how this looks like when things go bad and when things are done poorly and when things are done great.
Yeah.
And if you protect the team and you focus on the processes and you just focus on the results, really, we're getting into the nitty gritty of what gets in the way and whatnot. But if we focus on the driving real results for the business, right? And we just so happen to be listening and supporting the team while still all we care about is driving results, cost savings, driving more revenue, the clear ROI, then it's just a no-brainer.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And so besides hiring you, how can companies prepare for the future? Right. And I kind of want to wrap up here, but What are some things that companies can do now to prepare?
I just want to clarify. None of you have to hire me. I just geek out about this stuff, and I know that I'm the best at it.
Yeah.
I know that the work that we do is incredible, but I don't expect you to come to me to like, you need to internally have you won't integrate AI until you feel the pain, right? Until your board starts telling you, hey, you need to roll out AI, until your mentor or other people. I've seen this time and again. It doesn't matter that I tell you, you need this yesterday. And even if you know you need this yesterday, you need to, unfortunately, mentally be ready to make a decision before you can make that decision. I was
going to say, it's more of like a mindset shift, no?
Yeah, it's the mindset shift of you don't know what you don't know, and you are scared. And like we all are, right? This is very normal. This is human psychology 101. When we don't know stuff, it is scary and it becomes a threat to our survival, and we're slow to it.
Yeah.
I see countless business owners being so slow to AI because they don't know. But again, they don't have the time.
Right.
Step number 1 is make the time.
I love it.
And just go play with ChatGPT, go watch some YouTube videos, start having more discussions with your team on a meeting of like, hey, what do you guys think about AI? Are you using it? Do you want to? One of the first things I usually do when I come in as a fractional AI officer, I'm just telling you the pro tips that like I've learned that you should just steal from me and use without even working with me. Is immediately I set up a Slack channel for everyone where we're all it is we just share every AI win. Any AI tool that anyone's using, any custom GPT, any AI agent that is being built, and we put it all into one place and we start the discussion, because all we need is that mental shift, that mental unlock of like, we all get excited for AI. We're no longer acting from a place of fear. We're all driving it together. And now we're listening to it. And now I'm even doing the work with a tool like ChatGPT and co-creating things is still too slow in the game.
Yeah, and people are like hiding it almost, right?
Yeah,
like,
and people are hiding it because this is how they protect their jobs, right? They become the best performer.
Yeah.
But what if everyone in your company becomes the best performer?
Yeah.
So start that open channel of communication. And it is difficult, especially when a CEO leads this, because you know what a CEO, when a CEO asks for like, hey, what are the problems in the business? What's the things in the process that doesn't work? No one's going to give them an honest answer.
Right.
Because telling them that stuff doesn't work, telling them that they can't do their job well and all that stuff is putting their jobs at risk. Again, just like the AI thing, this is a common problem I see in so many AI or in so many businesses. The CEO has reached such a level of success that no one tells him no. No one tells him the truth. Like it turns into an echo chamber. And having someone who doesn't feel like a threat be leading the AI, instead of having someone who's putting people first. This is like the most important thing. Throughout any AI initiative that you're doing, you need to put people first. Your employees, you need to protect them. You need to make them feel safe through all this change. And you need to put your customers first.
I love it.
You can lose so much trust with your customers if you don't roll out AI carefully, because they think, well, you're just cheating them. You're overcharging them for something that takes you a second. But it's the
honesty. It's a transparency.
There needs to be so much honesty and transparency with all communication around AI. And people aren't good at it. Like, because it's...
Yeah. It's so new. right? And it's just scary for people. But I think if you just have that conversation, like you said, like if you're just open about, like, as the CEO, listen, guys, I'm trying to make this company better and I want you guys to help me. Right? Like, making sure, like, this is the takeaway I'm getting from you speaking, is like making sure that we're all on the same page, and this is not to take over your job. Like, I would even say that as a CEO. I would be like,
I always say that.
Yeah, listen, guys, I'm not trying to take your job. I promise. I just want to create this Slack channel for us to all communicate on the AI tools that we're using so we can all be top performers, the prompts that we're using, like all this stuff. Like, that's a great idea.
Yeah. But you also find things will stagnate if you just take that approach.
Interesting.
Because what did we say at the very beginning? The AI tools are a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
The prompts and all that, we're just sharing how to do more work. And that becomes mentally exhausting.
Yeah.
So that Slack channel or that communication channel that you create together, you don't just focus it on the tools and the prompts and all that is nice, but you focus them on, like, what's the big problems we're going to solve. And then what you're really after is figuring out what's that one project, the first 1-2 projects we're going to roll out where we're actually going to have AI automate the work, where we're building AI agents, because those are the things that drive massive revenue for the business. The AI tools, it's harder to measure the ROI from them because it's just productivity. But just because I finish my to-do list faster doesn't mean I ever don't. Like, my to-do list never ends. I always have more work to do.
Right.
So that's what I mean. Like, the tools can be a rabbit hole. They're important. But you're ultimately trying to discover the handful of projects that, like, if AI can just automate these things, the business levels up. And we're focused on those bottlenecks.
Yeah.
We're unlocking the things that are literally holding everything and everyone back.
Right.
So focus on that and you'll be in good hands.
I love it. Lucas, thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure having you on the Real Results podcast, as always. Is there anything else you want to share with people? Like, maybe plug your website, your social media?
You can find me at Lucas Petty on LinkedIn. Our website is aidaddy.com, but it's probably better if you just email me directly, lucas@aidaddy. Any questions that you have, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what we are the best at. Happy to answer any questions and geek out and walk you through any of these frameworks in deeper detail.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you.